I've had this pork loin. There's 2 pieces that came in the package for 2 nights in the refrigerator, open, not covered. So there's many ways to cook pork loin, and the way I'm cooking it today is I took it out of the package. You salt both sides after you kind of dry it, and then you keep it open in the refrigerator. And now we're going to cook this, and I'm going to make a chutney to go with it. So I'm going to show you the whole process. It doesn't take long to cook pork loin. So I am going to do a chutney to go with it. So let's get started. Okay, so I'm using boneless pork loin. It is different if you have bones and skin. It's got a lot more flavor probably than this, but it's still going to be good. So when I actually do the rub for the pork loin, I'm going to use fresh rosemary that I picked. I'm going to use fresh thyme and some olive oil and more salt. But now the chutney has 4 tart apples that you're going to use, and I have Granny Smith. You're going to have 3/4 of a cup of chopped onion, 2 tablespoons of grated fresh ginger, a 1/2 cup of pomegranate juice, a 1/2 cup of apple cider vinegar, a teaspoon of mustard seeds, 1 star anise, and a 1/4 teaspoon of red pepper flakes, and then 3/4 cup of light brown sugar. So these are all the ingredients that are going to go into the apple chutney. So once you remove the peeling from the ginger, you're going to grate 2 tablespoons of fresh ginger. You want to chop your 3/4 cup of yellow onion. And the recipe does call for a yellow onion here. I'm sure you could probably use a different kind of onion, but it does call for a yellow onion. Once you peel your apples, you just want to chop them in, like, say 1/2 inch to 1 inch pieces, like this. Now, after you have everything chopped up and all your spices measured out, you're going to start with your apples, your onion, your ginger, your peppers, your little star anise, your brown sugar, your apple cider vinegar, your 1 teaspoon of mustard seeds, and your 1/2 cup of pomegranate juice. And now what we're going to do is we're going to go over to the stove and cook this. You're also going to add a 1/2 teaspoon of salt. So the first thing you're going to do is bring this up to a medium high. You're going to stir everything together, and you're going to boil this like at a medium high. And then once it reaches that, you're going to turn it down to simmer until all your liquid, most of it, is evaporated. So you will simmer it about 45 minutes, but first we're going to bring it to a medium boil. Okay, so you can see it's at a boil. So you're going to leave it at this boil for about 3 minutes, and then you're going to turn it down and simmer for 45 minutes. Okay, I just turned this down to a simmer now, and you're going to stir it occasionally, but it just needs to simmer for 45 minutes. Okay, you're going to need about 2 sprigs of rosemary. That'll do it. While you're getting your chutney going, you can start getting your pork loin rub on. So it's been 3 days in the refrigerator, 2 nights, and it can stay up to, it says 3 nights. Overnight is all you need, but you can go up to 3 nights, and I did 2. So now you need 3 or 4 cloves of chopped up garlic. You want your 2 sprigs of rosemary and some thyme that I put, probably about 2 teaspoons of thyme. And now you're going to want about a 1/4 cup of oil. I'm using olive oil. It doesn't matter. Actually, they say a neutral oil, but I'm using this. So now what we're going to do is put more salt on. Even though we salted it prior to refrigerating it, we're going to add more salt. Not a whole lot more salt, but just about like how I'm doing. And now we're going to rub this on our pork. I am going to put a parchment paper underneath first. Score like about 2 or 3 inches apart on your pork. And then what you're going to do is you're going to rub the oil on both sides with all your herbs. And you're going to keep the fat, well, there's not a lot of fat on here, but this side will be up. Because the side that has the fat on it, you do want up. And there isn't a lot of fat on this loin. You can purchase ones that have the bone and skin and everything. This is very lean. So I'm going to finish rubbing this and I'll see you in a few. I am going to add a little pepper as well. So the very last thing I'm going to do is just sprinkle a little bit of garlic powder, very, very little, just to give it a little extra flavor. Even though it has fresh garlic, just very little. And now I'm going to put it in a 475 degree preheated oven for 30 minutes. And then after 30 minutes, I'm going to reduce the heat to 325 degrees Fahrenheit. And I'm going to cook it for another hour. And this will make it more of a medium. I don't want it rare, but a medium to medium well will be an hour after the 30 minutes. Okay, there it goes on the middle rack for 30 minutes at 475 degrees. Here's our chutney. It's been cooking and simmering about 20 minutes. And it does take approximately 45 minutes to get it where it evaporates most of this and it turns into like a thick chutney. Okay, this is how you want your chutney. It's done. See, most of the liquid is all evaporated and it's thick. It's done now. So now you can just turn off the heat and let it set until you're ready to serve it with your pork. Okay, it's been 30 minutes at 475. I'm going to turn it down to 325 for another hour. Hi everyone, I'm coming on here not only to taste the chutney first before the pork loin is done, but I wanted to explain to some of you who do not know what chutney is. Chutney is either a vegetable or a fruit that is cooked with some vinegar and spices, and it has a very unique flavor, and there's many different types of chutneys. This one happens to be an apple chutney, so let's taste it. Now this has a little kick to it because it has a quarter teaspoon of peppers, which is really makes it even better. If you like spicy, I like a little spicy, but this is awesome in here. So the pork loin has a little bit longer, probably about 20 more minutes, and then we're going to come on here and taste that. I'm making some mashed potatoes to go with this. So it's going to be a pork loin, mashed potatoes, and chutney. So we'll see you in a little bit. Okay, it looks done. It's been an hour at 325. Now you want your meat to rest 30 minutes. It's really nice. It has a nice crust on it. So that's how we like it. Hey, here it is. Now I started the chutney this morning, late morning, so I could beat the heat, but I wasn't able to beat the heat. But anyway, this turned out really good. So I've already tasted the chutney, so let's try the pork. Delicious. So you can take a bite of the pork with the chutney. It's so good. So if you're looking for something really nice to make that has pork, this is a really easy way to cook it. Because once you put it in the oven, you don't have to babysit it. You just turn it down after 30 minutes. Now you could cook this less time than we did if you want it medium rare or medium, but we like it, our pork well done. The only thing I could have done was made a gravy. It's so hot, I opted not to, but this is really good. So I hope you give this a try. And if you do, let me know how it turns out. Thank you so much, everyone, for watching.